just a game. We'll play the part, but it won't be the same. They have a habit overcharging, forcing the hand into a plea bargain. Offered up a plea deal, but I didn't do it for real. Turn the world against me, but I just wanna be free. I've got the facts, they've got the lies. Motion denied. They say they've got so much evidence. Trace DNA is taking precedence over unknown blood found at the scene. I think it's time someone just came clean. Offered up a plea deal, but I didn't do it for real. Turn the world against me, but I just wanna be free. I've got the facts, they've got the lies. Motion denied. Been sentenced to death. I'm not a bad guy, not holding my breath. Rather do life than offered up a plea deal, but I didn't do it for real. Turn the world against me, but I just wanna be free. I've got the facts, they've got the lies. Motion the night. Motion the night. Motion the night. Motion the night. Close the night out right, panel at the table in that half-dead light. Miss Robin in the middle, calling every shot, directing and producing, till the story runs hot. 1-1 from the city, badge heavy on his chest, towing that law like a wicked chain, spitting facts, no rest. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right, tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. JJ in the corner, state of the deep in his head. Which lies to toss and which ones to keep instead. Dago from the cafe says forget about it, leans back, spins his thoughts looks like a blade cutting holes in the track. Lee at the front, head advocate, steady stare. Every word like a warning, every silence a dare. All of them leaning in, clock crawling, eyes bright. Every secret feels louder than the buzzing of the night. Crimes after dark, we close the night outright. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel. We watch the threads ignite. You can bury it in paper, you can lock it in a file, but the truth bleeds through, drip by drip, tile by tile. We're dragging it to daylight, name by name, line by line. If you wrote it in the shadows, we'll read it out this time. Yeah. Crimes after dark, we close the night outright. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel. We watch the threads ignite.
All right, welcome everybody to another Crimes After Dark. Looks like we've got sound. That's good. I love it when my backstage audience tells me that we're good. Welcome in. By the way, we kind of got an anemic cast tonight. We're missing like half of our panel, and half of them we don't even know where the hell they're at. Like we're just like missing in action, but that's okay. We've got Robin, we've got one, we've got discussion things to talk about. We'll kick this thing off. We'll get started pretty quickly, and we'll play it by ear and see how it goes. It's a weird night. It's unusual for us to not have it's unusual to have so many panelists that are missing in action. So I don't know what's in the air today, but anyways, whatever the case may be, I'm glad you decided to spend your Saturday evening with us in part. We'll probably hand out some memberships or something like that to reward you for showing some dedication to the show. Let's get Robin on here and talk about things that are going on in your life. How are things, Robin?
All right, doing all right. I just want to remind you, it's Friday.
It's Friday. Did I say Saturday? God, it feels like Saturday. It totally feels like Saturday. It's Friday night.
You must be ready for it to be Saturday or something.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking, yeah, why do I think, yeah, that's the second, like I said that earlier. I'm like, isn't this Saturday? This is Saturday. Like, I don't know where my head's at. You know what it is?
After a while, the days all blend together. What the hell?
I blame my wife. She's got my sleep schedule. She's not going to take responsibility for it, but I feel like she's got my sleep schedule all screwed up. She'll be like, that's on you. You can sleep when you want to sleep. I'm like, no, I can't sleep when I want to sleep. Like, anyways, I'm all over the place. I'm losing track of days. I literally am losing track of days.
I know what that's like. So never fear. So, but yeah, welcome in everyone on this Friday night. We're glad you're here with us. And yeah. Okay. So, but
oh yeah, it's Good Friday.
You're here.
Is it officially Good Friday?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's right. So Sunday is Easter. That is correct. So, hippity hop, Peter Cottontail's on his way.
Robin, it's Saturday somewhere. It's like the drinking thing. It's Saturday somewhere. Right. It's Saturday in the UK. So
in Australia, it's Saturday.
In Australia, yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So
anyways,
it's all good. It's all good.
Anything else you want to share about your day today, or?
No, just doing the use. Still working on a new sizzle reel. So you never know, folks, when we're gonna debut new music. So
I know
it's always good to get here early because you just never know. So we have a lot of good music still coming, and so keep tuned in for that. So
and I want to remind people, by the way, that we are very close to putting out a Spotify playlist available for the public with all the music that we do. So I know a lot of people like our music. That Spotify, the music has been submitted to Spotify. So we're just waiting for the approval for the songs to be posted, and then we'll make that available for you. So that'd be very cool. And we did get another one of our panelists backstage. We got JJ joining us backstage. So we're getting our panel back on a Friday, not a Saturday night.
On a Friday.
On a Friday. Real quick, by the way, we have a banger video out the gate this morning. We had a good this afternoon. We had a good video that came out, and it's going super strong. In fact, I'm looking at the metrics as we sit here, like, wow, that video is still hanging in there. And now we're competing against my own video because you're here watching this instead of my video. But if you get a chance and you haven't checked it out, I re-reviewed submitting our records request to Moscow Police Department for where the police officers were on special patrol that night. They were supposed to be assigned to Greek Life and University of Idaho, because I have some suspicions about the special patrol that was just out at the Banfield that night, whether they were watching actually the 1122 King House. So that's something I want to.
It's an excellent video.
You should watch it if you haven't watched it. It's worth the watch. I feel. But again, I'm probably biased, but I feel it was worth the watch.
No, it was an awesome video. I absolutely loved it. I was like, man, what? Do some more.
Somebody said they made it before shaving. Like that's dedication. That's dedication. All right, let's get the rest of our panel up on stage. So we're gonna put JJ up because one has the monologue. So now all of a sudden JJ made one have to wait longer. JJ, what's going on?
What's up, everybody?
Good to see you.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Good.
All right.
What's up, denizens? Meatballs, you're out there. Believers, you're out there. And hello to the mods. Yeah, I texted you that I was running a few minutes behind.
Yeah. I've got a lot of communication channels and I don't always see it. By the way, we talked, I don't think you were on this show. We talked the other night. You and I, Dago, and maybe a couple of people, we need to do some members only content talking about that. The Hugh Hefner. Were you there for that discussion? The Hugh Hefner.
I was in the chat. I was listening.
Yeah. I would love to do that, to talk a little bit about honeypots and how the Epstein and Hefner connection and Larry Flint and all of those, like, blackmailing people through the oldest trick in the book. Sex is the oldest.
Right. And you hit the nail on the head, because we think of it like, oh, the Epstein files, like it's a new thing.
No,
it's not.
This stuff has been going on for a very, very long time.
Forever.
Yeah. And in fact, we talked about this on one of the streams. Remember, we talked about like Skull and Bones and how they have to do all this weird stuff, and they make them reveal a bunch of things, so they have stuff on them.
Yeah.
That stuff goes way back.
Yeah, and it goes. I think I've talked about it before, and I won't get into specific. I think it goes deeper than that. I think on some of the tighter-lipped secret societies, they will actually make you give them, and if you don't have any, they'll have you pose for incriminating photos, and for example, and so that they know that they've got something that can ruin you, that can ruin your life and ruin your career.
Let me just add one thing to that, and then I won't talk about it again tonight. Unless you want me to.
Maybe.
But you brought it up, so I'm going to throw it out there. I have a theory. You know how we've always heard, they get these powerful people and then they get dirt on them to blackmail them with?
Yeah.
I think the way it's actually done is they get people that are ambitious, right? Either big business people or politicians or up-and-coming, quote-unquote, stars in whatever their business field or politics or whatever. And they find people that are already have dirt.
Right.
So they find people that have dark secrets, that they have information on them. If they see the trajectory of people, because they see it, we're watching everything, and they find the ones that have very suspect things in their past.
Yeah.
And I think then they reinforce that and they bring them into the fold, and they start accumulating more and more and more, because they know that these people are shady in some aspect of their life, or they have secrets that they don't want to get out.
Yeah.
And then the power structure moves them up the ladder. So then they help get them elected. They help place them as CEOs. And then that is my theory about how it actually works.
Yeah, I think you're probably not. I think you're not far off. Anyways, yeah. And by the way, I do have a special request for before I bring one up. And it's funny because I had a discussion with one of our old panel members, Jason Estes, reached out to me, and we got talking about something that was more in your wheelhouse and his wheelhouse and peripherally my wheelhouse. And I said, look, I'll talk to JJ about the idea of us doing a one-off, just the three of us talking about some of that more conspiracy angle that he wants to talk about. So if you're up for it, we might do like a one-off thing, not necessarily like a panel discussion, but maybe as a one-off video if you're interested. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, he emailed me about it.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah, he's already on it.
I'm not scared to talk about anything, man. I mean, while we still have the First Amendment, I'm going to talk about whatever I want to talk about.
There you go. Absolutely. All right, let's bring one up so he can get the family to the rest of their routine for the evening. He's been waiting patiently. One, how you doing?
Good evening.
Hi, even folks.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I know we kind of went not too crazy off the rails the other night, but
it's good to do that from time to time. It's good. It's good
to I know everyone always, and they're not wrong. I mean, the Epstein thing is like crazy, like worldwide reach all over the place.
Right.
But when we kind of mentioned that, I just always had in the back of my mind, and I know, and as JJ just said, it's even earlier, probably even back to ancient times and Romans and all kinds of crazy shit going on. But I guess in more of modern times, just what comes to my mind, I just always heard so much on Hugh Hefner and that. And that, like you said, maybe he kind of, showed Epstein the ways, or who the hell knows. But but he also had the hidden cameras and all the crazy shit too.
And don't you remember, not to get too political, but back in the day, there was rumors John F. Kennedy was a bit of a skirt chaser, and they tried to set him up with women to compromise him and to get control of the White House and stuff like that. So,
I don't think it's a rumor.
I don't think it is.
No,
I don't think it's
a rumor. No, it's not.
Bill Clinton might have been a skirt chaser as well.
No, come on.
You're
going way off the rails now.
Come on, I get it.
But
anyways, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't want to side rail us, and I know you got a monologue coming up, but I don't know that there's ever been a president that they haven't snuck girls into the White House. It's just part of the business. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just thinking that's a common thing, probably more common than people realize. But some of them are so bad that it actually becomes rumor mill. So I don't know.
I don't know. You think Ronald Reagan was into that? I don't know.
I do. I do. I know it's hard to imagine.
He was an actor before,
I know.
I know. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I have many thoughts about Reagan, which we won't get into now. I think that it's just the way that they do business. They know the proclivities of the people that are moving up the ranks, and they take those people, and they know that they can be controlled because of those proclivities.
Right.
Corey Hopkins FOIA'd Karen Reed's trial sidebars, and she got run around, filed a lawsuit, and we got the sidebars immediately. Interesting. Nice. Yeah. See, that's why. Look, the lawsuit route is sometimes shakes shit loose. So thank you for sharing that, Written Dreams. Appreciate that very much. I was actually prepared to do the lawsuit until I realized that they got me, and they had responded and said, hey, we're going to collect all your stuff together in one lump sum and say, pay us $78 or we've all of your previous requests have been considered withdrawn. So I didn't catch it. Bad on me. I'll learn that next time. Right. They know what they're doing. Yeah, let's get a monologue.
Let me get my kids to bed. So first off, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Well, we're going to say it again tomorrow, that.
Yes. So, I don't think I'm going to be able, maybe I'll be able to pop in the chat.
Hold a minute. Wait a minute. Are you telling me you're taking your birthday off? That's not freaking acceptable.
No, I'm going to be, No, I'm gonna be in the Bronx. The Bronx is burning, and
all right. I guess you could take. I guess you can take your birthday off.
Yeah, but also before I get to the monologue, Lee's video today, as I think Robin, she beat me to it. She used my words. Usually I say it, but I didn't want to copy her with the same comment. Lee's video was fire today. Very, very good video.
Yeah.
And I'm all into I've been pulling at that thread with Rosenthal and Tisdale and the cops and the all the stuff that they're trying to hide. And I appreciate the thanks, about I don't know if they'll give it, but yes, that AVL info is I know we'll get into it in the show.
I feel bad. You've been asking me to go for that for the longest time, and
I know because the thing is there are certain things that people don't know to ask unless it's like you don't know unless you know.
Right. And you knew, so you said you need to do this, and I wasn't responding quickly enough, so I apologize. All right, get your
that's
monologue.
okay. All right, Juliana, Jackson, to my beautiful wife, love you guys always. Midnight. Actually, I'm actually all messed up today because I'm not going in the right order. I can't read my monologue without stopping. Is it good to be alive in the den on a Friday night? I lose track of the days too.
I think it's Saturday. I feel like it's Saturday.
All right, now we're ready. Okay, midnight. No noise, no distractions, just questions. Because tonight we're not walking into a crime scene. We're walking into something that may have already been under watch. What if the story you've been told starts too late? What if the timeline doesn't begin at 4 a.m., but hours before that? In silence, in shadows, in places where people were already positioned. Because buried inside the records, inside contracts most people never read, there's something that changes everything. A system, an agreement, a multi-million-dollar obligation to patrol, to monitor, to protect. 7 officers assigned, not optional, not random. So let's slow this down. If officers were assigned to that area, if patrols were required, if presence was already there, then the question isn't just how did this happen? The question is who was already there? When did it happen? Because that night there were movements, there were patrols, there were officers positioned close enough to see more than they should have, or close enough to miss something they shouldn't have. And somewhere in that silence between responsibility and reality, something broke. Because this wasn't just policing, this was structured, contractual, funded, and yet it still happened. So now we ask, if there were patrols that night, where were they? If there were officers assigned, what were they doing? If there were eyes in that area, what did they see? Or maybe worse, what were they already watching? Because we know this much, there were officers in that space. There were interactions happening. There were people moving. And just beyond that, a house, a quiet one, until it wasn't. So tonight, we're not chasing noise. We're not chasing headlines. We're following something colder, something quieter, a possibility that this wasn't just a failure or a coincidence, but something that unfolded inside a system. And if that's true, then this case isn't just about what happened inside that house. It's about everything that was happening around it in the dark. And that's where we begin. With that, live from New York. It's Friday night.
All right. Well, thank you for kicking us off in the right way. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, and thank you, by the way, for somebody saying it was a fantastic video today. I appreciate that very much. We've been watching it be successful, and that makes us feel a little happy as well, because nothing's worse than putting a lot of effort into something and nobody sees it. You're like, man, like I put some time into that. Nobody even saw it. But this is one of those ones where we put time into it and people are watching it. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, by the way, let's put the link out for people to join us on stage. Great night to do that because we got a little of a light crew today. JJ, you're de-chained or off the chain if you want to talk a little conspiracy theory or whatever. It's a fucking Friday night. If there's a night to do it, it's Friday night. See, I did get the right night. It's not Saturday.
I don't talk about conspiracy theories. So, I talk about conspiracy
reality. Yeah,
conspiracy reality.
JJ, you weren't here the other night. I know that you have plenty of opinions on this. I'm just curious, like how not to go into a whole like 50-minute explanation, but what is your overall like view of like Hugh Hefner, and do you think he was definitely like a honeypot before?
Absolutely. I listened to a lot of times I'm in the chat, but I'm driving, so I can't comment because like I'll say hi everybody and then I'm driving, so I can't comment. Yeah. I comment when I can, but there is, in my mind, there is no question whatsoever that he was used to get compromising stuff, proclivities of certain people, celebrities, obviously. And in fact, I would say that Hollywood probably has numerous mechanisms along the same lines to know things, because we look at history. If you go back in history, if you look at all these big stars, right, that you later, after they die, you find out things about them, right? So I mean, James Dean is a great example. I don't know if you guys know much about James Dean and his history and stuff, but he obviously a really good looking dude, obviously talented. But I read, at least one book that I read cover to cover about James Dean, and I've done research on it. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but there's a lot of things that point to the power structure in Hollywood, how they get these young stars like Marilyn Monroe, and they get them involved in things, and it's like you play ball and they move them along, but they have to play ball. Yeah, because there are these hungry people like James Dean. He came from Indiana. Marilyn Monroe, she was also from the Midwest, right? So I just think that it's way more, we just talked about it before. It's way more common going back very far than a lot of people may realize. I think it's way more widespread.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and like you said, it's not really a conspiracy theory. There are hard, solid facts behind it. And, so, yeah, I mean, it's something that we should talk about. We had a guest for a second. Did they go away already before even I had some queue up backstage and then they left?
TA, I missed your video, man. Like today I was super busy all day. Normally I watch as much stuff as I can, but I was going nonstop from the time I woke up till just before the stream today.
He's he very clearly is laying out in this request specifically a bunch of stuff, but he's requesting the AVL, and AVL is specifically to most police vehicles in the country. It has GPS info built into it. Like GPS could be separate, but it's a auto vehicle locator. It'll tell you like the speed at a certain, there are different programs, but it'll tell you the speed that the car is going at a certain time and all kinds.
Could you imagine?
Go ahead.
Could you imagine the shit show if one of the cop cars that night, if the AVL matches exactly suspect vehicle one's timing? Could you imagine the shit show?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we already, I think, all agree that the video was doctored, right? I think we all probably, at least on some level, believe that the 1112 video was messed with audio wise and potentially video wise. The lights were so washed out on it, the headlights and things like that. So could it have been that vehicle all along? And they couldn't have that coming up to the public.
No.
Right.
Nope. Wow.
By the way, I didn't talk this over with anybody on my show at all, so you guys can all punish me later if I do so. But I wanted to say, I'm going to remove this from the stage. I'm going to add this. So I'm sitting on a bunch of merchandise that we don't really promote much. I don't like begging and asking for money, but we're sitting on this merchandise that's not doing anything. And we need to kind of move this stuff out. We're going to be having a new design coming out soon. So I'm thinking about giving away a small hoodie that looks just like this. So if you guys, if that is an interest, I'll put a poll up or something, or do a trivia. Maybe we'll do like a movie. Yeah, let's do the movie trivia tonight.
Oh,
yeah. Movie trivia and say, audience, the first answer in the audience that gets it right. Now you gotta not freaking. I know people are gonna want to go out and chat GPT the fucking quote from the movie. But anyways, we'll do the movie trivia tonight. And if you want, I've got a couple sizes, but I have particularly a small that I wanted to give away. So I don't know if you maybe only answer if you want the small or whatever. But if you're interested in that and you win the prize today at the trivia at the end of the night, it'll be your option whether you want to give me an address, and I'll ship you one of these small hoodies from our collection. So let's do that. All right. So what else do we got to talk about? We got the video that we can talk about. There's lots of stuff we can still talk about that video. We can talk about generally about honeypots. We can again put out the request for somebody to join us. We had somebody take us up on coming up on stage, and then maybe they got stage fright. I get it. Like, we're probably pretty intimidating, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, when I was listening, you know, I love it when you guys go off the rails a little bit. Like if I'm not here, I listen and I'm just like, yeah, man, that's my
funny.
crew right there.
It's funny whenever we go off the rails a little bit. We're always like, I wonder what JJ would think.
I'm listening. I don't think I've missed a stream. It's just I can't always comment.
Right.
I appreciate that.
I'm driving and stuff. Like last night, I was gonna text you guys and say, I can jump on while I'm driving, you know, it's just not going to be good because it'll be my phone in the car and stuff like that. It's not going to, I don't have a mount in my car for my phone.
Yeah.
So
where's your birdseed bag?
I was going to say, all you need is birdseed, dude. It fucking works like a charm.
Speaking of birdseed, Cam, on that, just for anybody who didn't witness that crazy days that we were in Moscow and stuff, I was like trying to run the do the chat because DA was driving. He knows his way around there. I'm like, you drive, dude. I don't know where the hell I'm going. So I'm trying to like entertain the chat and watch the camera at the same time, which is like falling off the dashboard, and the birdseed bag is falling off the dashboard. So I'm sure that the video sucked for a lot of that stuff because I'm like people were getting crazy in the chat for that stuff. So I was just trying to like keep the volley going back and forth with some of the crazy shit people were saying in the chat. And I'm sure it was probably annoying to watch because thankfully it was just like members only stuff because
Leah's frozen.
Oh, I'm frozen.
Oh, I don't know.
You really still. I'm sorry.
But we got to do some more of that stuff, man. If I can make it to Vegas, and if we could rally, you know, some people, we could do some really funny bangers, like unintentionally funny. It just ends up being funny because when you're out and about and you're, you know, recording and stuff, but not to say nothing of the fact that that one night that we got hammered, that must have been entertaining to
That
watch.
was hysterical. You guys were so, and what was the best part of that whole thing was you guys trying to set up the camera and it wouldn't cooperate. It kept falling off the chair or something. And I about pissed myself watching you guys. So the member lives were, if you guys have just become members, you must watch the member live videos from that trip, because
we
they
got
were
a guest.
hysterical.
We got a guest backstage.
You got yes, right. So get this, like UK Claire queued up backstage as Claire UK. I have to guess it's the same person, but let's get her up on stage before she leaves us again and put her up here. Hey, what's going on? Thanks
Claire!
for being patient and waiting for us.
That's all right. Are you guys going on about when you ended up in Moscow car park, the police station?
Yes. Yes, it drives me nuts because he wants me. I mean, I've been trying to find the exact moment. There's one video file I think it's got to be in, but apparently when I'm scrubbing trying to find it, I just can't find it. It's like I'm gonna have to sit there and watch like 3 hours of video just to find when the hell we pulled into that thing. But
that was hysterical.
What kind of animal do you have mauling you on camera? Is that a dog?
Oh, that's Sid, my poodle.
It's a Sasquatch.
It's used to. Well, I came on camera because the light's still on. Normally, everybody's asleep by now, and I'm whispering. But
oh yeah, what time is it where you're
at? 20 to 2
in the
Claire,
morning.
you're a diehard, man.
I am.
You are. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing up. Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Yes,
Claire, what part of the UK are you in?
Cheshire in the northwest.
Okay, so I'm sure you're familiar with Scousers.
Oh God, yeah.
You're a Scouser.
Oh.
Well, when the reason I ask is because when I told my story about how
Don't tell me you married one.
No. When I told a story on here one night about how I ended up falling asleep on a shuttle in LA and ending up in Vegas.
Okay.
And
yeah.
It was because of a Scouser shuttle driver that I ended up in Vegas. Yeah. Like these guys it was two Brits, one guy from Manchester. Oh, and maybe he was from Leeds. No, he was from Leeds. And the other guy was a Liverpudlian. So I would hang out with these guys a lot. And they were some of the craziest humans, and I've met some crazy people in my life.
Yeah.
Like I went to Vegas with these guys, and I'll just tell this quick story because I'm sure you're a Brit, so you'll appreciate
somebody
this.
else in the chat. I'm a Scouser.
So
sorry.
Oh, nice. I love Scousers, man. I get along great with them, man. That's awesome, man. You're gonna like this story. So that same trip, I ended up in Vegas inadvertently, and the hostel gave me a free room because they thought the story was so funny that everybody in the hostel knew who I was. I was the guy who fell asleep on the shuttle bus and ended up in Vegas. So I'm hanging out with these two guys, and we go out, and they're like, "Oh, we got to make a quick stop," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever. I'm just rolling with it at this point. I'm not even supposed to be there." So they end up going to this condo complex, and we go in the back sliding glass door of somebody's condo, and I'm like, "Are you guys like robbing somebody? Like, what are you guys doing?" And they're like, I'm gonna have to get a little dark here, but
shit.
So they were basically going to meet their drug connection. So here I am,
wow.
like I drank, but I wasn't a drug guy. I was, drink beers, whatever. And we're sitting in somebody's living room, like they basically broke in, and they're waiting for this drug person to come home, and then they start fishing around in the drawer of the like coffee table, and these guys are like smoking crack. They're like, I'm like, what the fuck did you guys get me into, man? I'm like, you probably should have told me like you were going to buy drugs and you'd be smoking crack. You probably should have told me about that before you dragged me with you. So I didn't smoke crack, for anybody inquiring minds who want to know, but I had to tolerate two guys who were smoking crack for several hours. So it was interesting, to say the least.
It's funny you mentioned it, because I didn't even know the term until one of my newer favorite UFC fighters, who Paddy Pimblett, called himself a scouser. I'm a scouser, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't even know what that is. I get it's a stew.
It's like a seafood kind of stew where you just throw a bunch of stuff in there, from what I understand.
Huh. Well, I learned something new every day.
Scouse.
I love Scouser.
Is that correct, Claire?
Yeah, that's right. The Scousers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of it is
Merchant Marines, right?
We both got really good football teams, and they're always at the top of the league. So we've got a real hatred for each other football wise as well.
Yeah, Patty's line was, "I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out."
Yeah, he said Scousers don't get knocked out.
Has he been knocked out?
No.
Not yet.
I don't think he's been knocked out.
He came close
lost
against
fights.
Justin Gaethje, but he didn't get knocked out.
Yeah.
Dan, will you stop?
Well, do you have any question, comment, or you just wanted to say hi and jump on camera with us? What do you got? You got any thoughts or comments?
I was just gonna say hi, and what are we actually talking about? Because I wasn't here for right at the beginning.
We were really all over the place. We talked a little bit about honeypots and Hugh Hefner and Jeffrey Epstein, but we also talked about my video on Idaho 4 that came out this morning, where I was talking about the contractual agreement between University of Idaho and Moscow Police Department to embed police officers into the Greek life and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. I read that contract a while ago. It's a bit crazy how they have their own designated area within the police station for everything.
Right, and per their contractual agreement, when something happens of that kind of nature, they have to be immediately called. Like, the first call has to be into the university president and say, "Hey, something just happened to some of your students off campus," and they get to be in on all the interviews and all the interrogations and the whole 9 yards per their contract.
Yeah,
crazy.
And then everything's actually allowed out into the students' domain.
Yeah,
for those studying it as well, which is absolutely crazy. I understand that it goes out to the students' domain after the case is closed and it's gone quiet. And
we're definitely not in the quiet stage yet.
Straight away is absolutely bonkers how it's allowed in the student domain that are studying stuff.
Yeah. Well, if they're studying it, I've got to get their curriculum, because I haven't seen them officially do anything. But yeah,
Claire, do people from your part of UK like Irish people?
Oh yes, we love the Irish.
Yeah, because I found I had never hung out with Scousers before when I lived in before I moved to LA, and my grandparents are from Belfast, so I grew up with a lot of Irish culture. Just. I don't need to explain it to most people. They kind of, they kind of get it.
Yeah, a lot of my drinking days was around the Irish and the Irish pubs. They're brilliant.
Yeah. You and me both. So, when you go to Irish weddings, if you're it was, let's be honest, old school Irish people are kind of chauvinistic, and if you were a boy. I'm one of 8 kids, right? So if you were a boy and you were young and you were at a wedding, your dad's not going to get pissed if you're sipping some beers.
Right.
No.
Right.
But the girls couldn't get away with that. And that was one of the things I came up with, it was just part of my life. My dad's buddies were over, playing cards or something. Me and my buddies could be downstairs drinking beers. And as long as nobody drove, it was okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's still very much like that, even in this generation of the Irish.
Wow. Wow.
Still very. St. Paddy's Day is one of the messiest days. When I run my,
that's a good way to say one of the messiest days.
What a shocker.
If you actually go on Google and say, what's the messiest days in the UK? It's normally St. Paddy's Day or this weekend because of both bank holidays back to back. People just get very messy. But my AA meetings get also very, very busy.
Oh, I bet. I'm going to need to check myself in for this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Margaret, that was a typical Irish family when I was growing up, but it's not as common anymore. When the street we lived on in Brooklyn, it was like 4 or 5 families with 7 or more kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I did not have that luxury. I was a one-child family. But anyway, so,
I'm an only child as well. So
yeah.
It's not a luxury.
Yeah. No,
because you can barely afford to eat.
Right. Yeah. Oh, well, anyways, I could digress. I'm not going to. Anyways, thank you for coming on with the show.
Friday night. You got to digress. Claire, do you think he should digress?
Well, look at the state of what we got into last time.
I know, and it wasn't going to take us in a bad way. I was just going to say because my dad grew up in a large family, and so because he grew up in a large family, when it was dinner time, it was like a feeding frenzy, and everybody, if you didn't eat fast enough, you didn't get food, and so my dad ate fast. And to this day, I picked up my dad's habit of eating super fast. And then I married a woman who's possibly the slowest eater I have ever met on the face of the planet. So the two of us eating dinner is like torture if we do it together, because I got to try to pace myself, and I can't pace myself. So then I'm done. She's like, what do you mean you're already done with your dinner? And I'm like, fuck yeah. There's other people ravenously trying to attack my food. Don't you see it? But anyway, so it's...
So are you trying to say that you finished quickly?
It's Friday night, isn't it? I can tell.
You don't know how to pace yourself, right? That's what I'm getting out of it.
I gotta pace myself. Call me Joey. Don't let me get loose. All right. So it's a thing. So that's my digression for the night. I guess that felt like a Friday night. He eats like someone's gonna take it from him. Yeah. I can get really inappropriate. So anyways, what else do we It's a Friday night, I can tell. We now cut to this commercial break. Anybody?
Oh my God.
That too. Yeah. We need to put the link up quickly, get somebody else on stage and save my ass. This is getting embarrassing.
Oh, wow, that's tickled me.
Oh my God.
I just went off the rails.
Oh God.
Anyways, so what do we anything else you want to do? Just move us to a different topic, for God's sake. I'll send you a hoodie if you just get me fucking off topic at the moment.
No, because anything I can say, I've got a gut of mind, so
you're as bad as we are, probably. I'm thinking.
You see what's happening in the chat here? We had 2 families of 8, 1 of 10.
Yeah.
Yep. Lots of Irish people. I love it.
So another byproduct of growing up in a large family that I wished I would have had is people who grow up in large families are the kind of people who can fall asleep with the TV on. In fact, they're probably the kind of people who only fall asleep if the TV's on and there's some kind of noise, because they grew up in a noisy house, right? So they're used to something going on.
Getting your ass kicked by your older brothers? Is that what
right? I have to have quiet. I have to have quiet because I was the only child, and it was dead silent when I go to bed. So like, it's difficult if anything's going on around me. So yeah.
But do you know what I kind of miss being an only child? Do you know when you have like your brothers and sisters, like say you get bullied and they go and get the bullies?
Yeah.
Or you get looked after.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I kind of miss that.
But then they also kick your ass, your siblings.
Right.
So it's like a trade-off, a deal with the devil. Like my brothers, if they were feeling a little crazy, I might get my ass kicked. But if somebody in the neighborhood messed with me, I had 3 older brothers that it didn't bode well for them typically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can actually think about that with the, I'll go back to the Frats again, to the mentality, the pack mentality that happens in frat life. Yep. You can understand that with how it happens, because they've got these young minds that are still not mature at all, and it's so delicate and like sponges still, and you just get one wrong leader of the pack, like whoever got Alpha of the Year, or his house daddy, as Iowa said they were, and they just follow that member, and they easily become a pack. But put a lot of single children together in a school, and they will actually become a group. And that full group will all be solo children with no brothers or sisters. It's crazy how it naturally works.
Right. You bring up a JJ topic, and that is Greek life, fraternities, and when you get into the secret societies that literally tap people to be part of the secret society, you get tapped, you get selected to be in the inside kind of thing. And a lot of times those groups become, it's who you know kind of thing. Your career will explode if you know the right people. But in order to do that, you must prove that your loyalty to the brotherhood goes as far as it can go. Anything that your brother does, you will cover up for, and you will hide. You will not, because the brotherhood is first. And if you can prove that kind of loyalty, then your career could be the sky's the limit, because you've proven loyalty to the system and the brotherhood. And frats are like that. And it makes you wonder, like, you know, again, if the frats could have been involved in any way, shape, or form. Let's not even say it was the frats that killed people, but if let's say one of the frat members were there. Everyone in that house, if they want to be taken seriously, will never rat on a brother. Will never tell that happened. And maybe even go as far as chasing off people that come from out of town and drive through the neighborhood and get the fuck out of our neighborhood. You don't belong here kind of thing, because that's the brotherhood that they have. And they don't give a shit what happened. They're sworn to protect their brothers.
Well,
did you listen to those two new interviews that Connor put up? I
heard about them. I haven't watched them from the fraternities.
It's actually it's two fraternity members that are actually, they're just talking, and they actually give you an insight into what it's like.
Yeah.
And not one of them said definitely not. Nobody from the frat house could have done it. Not one of them says definitely not.
Right. And they won't say that they did, but they won't, they're not going to rat somebody out, but they're probably, being very careful how they say that. I saw a crazy video. I almost wish I had it now to play online. It was a fraternity in which a bunch of police officers, one might appreciate this. A bunch of police officers were coming in and getting frustrated because they couldn't get anyone in the frat to talk to them. They had a whole room. If I remember right, it was a whole room of guys that were basically almost naked, standing in a basement kind of thing.
Is that the Iowa one?
Yeah. And they weren't talking, right? And they're like, you're going to need to talk to the house dad. We're not going to talk to you about nothing. Like shit. Like they're flat out would not talk to the police about anything, because they're keeping their ritual going and their whatever they want to call it, their initiation that they got going on.
What got me with that is the police weren't that bothered about nobody speaking.
Yeah, they kind of let it go pretty easy.
Yeah. And it was like, we understand that you do this, but can you tell us next time when you're doing it? Even though hazing is supposed to be now abolished from universities. Right. I just don't get it.
That video was crazy because you witnessed firsthand that the cops knew what was up. They knew that these kids were all going to just band together. And that kind of mentality, it goes to ancient times, right? It's all evolutionary psychology. If you were in warring societies, right, you had to stand with the people of your tribe, regardless of what they did, because it was the survival of the tribe that, was your survival. And if you were a liability to your tribe, they would take you out. If a person was a liability, say hunter-gatherer societies and warring societies, like native tribes and whatnot, if someone was, really sick, or they were causing problems for the tribe, they would kill them. And so that mentality, we don't like to think about this stuff as humans, because we've evolved, and socially we've evolved, but we have not evolved that much as far as what's programmed in our DNA. And evolutionary psychology, which is, when you're studying it, it sucks, because it's a lot of like genetics and all that genetic lines and all that kind of stuff. But when you apply it to the bigger picture, it's probably the most important class I ever took because it explains everything.
Yeah.
Every behavior that you can point to, from psychopaths, they serve the purpose in warring societies, to this tribal mentality, serve the purpose. Now, we're stuck in the middle now because socially we've evolved, but the species hasn't evolved that much.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
All right. Did you, by the way, Robin, put the link out again for people to maybe join us or and
yes, I did. I'll do it again though. Maybe they
no.
I mean,
fuck them. I'm not gonna beg. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Like, no, I just wanted to make sure they
what's going on? Throwing sweatshirts.
I know. Somebody come and take
underwear.
my place so I can go and make a brew.
We do have somebody that came backstage, and it's a Claire as well. So now we got two Claires. You're not on here twice, are you? With two different spellings of your name?
No, I'm only my spelling. I'll never ever take an I.
I think not that Claire can be replaced, but I think we'll replace Claire with another Claire. So I want to say thank you for coming on and giving us. We had lots of humor going when you came on the show, so thank you so much for joining us tonight.
All right, love to all.
All right, take it easy.
Coming up. Wanted you to have both. Will the real Claire please stand up?
Will the real the Slim Shady please stand up? Okay, we got both Claires on screen for the moment.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Alrighty, I'm US Claire. Nice to meet you guys.
We got UK Claire and US Claire. We'll just keep you. You don't have to go yet if you don't want to, Claire. We'll have both Claires.
Claire.
It's going to get confusing, though. I can tell you that. What's going on?
I just I have something to get off my chest about the Idaho 4 case. So, I was living in Vegas at the time, and I was 20. So I was like the victims' ages, so it's really kind of jarring to outlive them when you think of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one girl that I was living with, we are on different pages of whether or not Brian is guilty or not. She believes that he is fully on guilty, and I believe that he is innocent for the most part, But we are on the same page that Dylan is extremely sketchy.
Right.
And her story is extremely sketchy. And
right.
I remember we were like texting like right after the sentencing hearing, and she was like, I'm like, one of my biggest fears is being a bystander in my friend's murder, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. And I completely agree with her. So I was just, if you guys like talk about it, I'm more than happy to talk about it.
I mean, I think what you're getting at is what a lot of us feel, which is that even people who are quote unquote guilters and think that Brian Kohberger did it, they still have problems with the way that the 911 call didn't come in for so long. They still have problems with the inconsistency of the statements, and statements like, I'm not sure if it happened or not. Maybe I was dreaming. Maybe it didn't happen. That's bothering a lot of people. Even people who are convinced of his guilt are like, man, that looks really bad. And the grand jury that got assembled has apparently thought there was something wrong with the girls and something should be looked into. So I don't think you have to be a guilter or a not guilter to find that those eyewitness testimonies sketchy. So now the question comes is, if so many people, regardless of how you feel about who did the crimes, feel that they're sketchy, why do we still not press a little harder for why things didn't add up? Because it feels like there's something that explains it, and everybody just seems like, well, who cares? The guy committed guilty. We don't need to know. No, I need to know. I need to explain why that happened, because there's something that you're not telling with that behavior. That's my feeling.
Would you think that maybe like her being like a victim of the burglary maybe like plays a part in that?
Yeah, I do. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I even had a video. I don't want to go into depth about it because I did it members only for a reason, but I had a video about the possibility that because Dylan was into psychology and stuff like that, and Brian Kohberger was a psychology major when he was at DeSales before he switched to criminology, was there any possibility that the two of them would have bumped elbows or into the same circles? And I asked the question, because listen to this. I don't know if you caught this, but in the courtroom, Dylan was the only one when they were giving the victim impact statements who couldn't look Brian Kohberger in the eye. She literally asked Bill Thompson to stand between her and him so that she wouldn't have to see him. And I thought to myself, that's somebody who's ashamed to look at somebody in the eye because she knows what she's saying is bullshit. And she knows that she's helping convict somebody for something that isn't the full story. And she can't look him in the eyes and do it with a straight face. So she has to, and that's what it felt to me. I felt like she was ashamed of what she was doing and she couldn't look him in the eye. But that was my take.
I agree.
It's not a popular opinion, but yeah.
Absolutely.
I've defended, while I still think the behavior of the surviving roommates will always be highly suspicious to me, I can also play devil's advocate and look at the fact that they may have been put up to that. You know, they may have been compromised in some way, and they had to go along with whatever the narrative was that was being handed to them. So, you know, it's, to me, I can look at both sides of it. I think, yes, very suspicious, and obviously not accurate, but it's also, if bigger things are involved, you know, that's probably the reason why they were never pressed, because they were told to say the things that they said.
Yeah.
So they weren't, not even like basic questions weren't even asked of them, like simple things.
Do you US Claire, do you have any theories about or any ideas about why Dylan's statements, one, do you have any feelings about why the call took so long, or do you just is it just out there that you find it suspicious, or do you actually have some thoughts about what it might mean?
I definitely think that there was a lot more people that knew what was happening, and like they came over to like clean up a little bit, maybe like make it seem less like bloody, maybe. And I personally believe that there is a chance that Brian could have played a part, whether or not he initially knew what was going to happen at the house. So other than that, I think that maybe some people, maybe even Hunter and Emily came over or something like that, but she definitely was not sleeping,
but
as per the phone records.
Claire, what do you think about the suspect vehicle 1?
I personally think that has nothing to do with it. I think it's a red herring, and like it's a very common car.
My God. On the, I hate to interrupt, but when we drove through the neighborhood, you can see freaking a dozen white cars that are consistent with suspect vehicle 1 parked in people's parking lots right there in the neighborhood. It's ridiculous.
I have a white Honda, and where I live right now, I don't live in Vegas anymore, but even between the two places and where I've grown up in Florida, like there's so many like white sedans that look so much like Brian's car. I know so many people who drive the Elantra.
There are.
So I'm just.
But Claire, you got a big piece of evidence that you can argue against your roommate there, or remember that. So one of the big things that we have now that is kind of being argued repeatedly is that Kohberger does not have fog lights on his car. And the white, and why this is, and you are absolutely right that white is a very common car, and Elantra, a lot of people have Elantras. But what's very particular about this is that there are very, very specific timestamps that are mentioned in the PCA. And we have finally been able to get some of the video from some of those timestamps, and the white Elantra that's at those timestamps has fog lights. So it's impossible, although we can't see who's driving the car, it's clearly not BK's car. You can't just add on fog lights. So
right, and well, no, there's clip-on fog lights.
Clip-ons, yeah.
Oh
clip-on fog lights.
Oh yeah, the clip-ons.
Let me point out another thing that bothers me, and then I'm going to go grab a soda from the other room. So I'm going to spew some vomit out of my mouth, and then I'm going to step away for a second. So what about this? What bothers me the most? Ann Taylor made the argument, and I think it was a valid argument. It's prejudicial to list in your paperwork, this is suspect vehicle 1, and here you see suspect vehicle 1 returning, and here's, and doing that is prejudicial to the jury. It's for the jury to decide if that's the same vehicle. And Ann Taylor was going to argue, you don't know that's the same vehicle, but them telling the jury, this is the same vehicle entering, this is the same vehicle entry, is prejudicial. And Hitler was going to let that stand. Like, sorry, we're just going to allow them to go ahead and say it's the same vehicle, and you don't get the challenge that it's a different vehicle. Like, it literally, it was prejudicial to say it was the same vehicle. It might have been different vehicles that were white that were going at the time.
That would have been torn apart though in the trial. So it would have been great. Yeah. Actually, that would have backfired on them greatly because they would have been arguing, oh, it's BK's car or whatever. And even forget about even Cy Ray, right? Because Cy Ray wasn't allowed to, he's a conspiracy guy, right? So forget about Cy Ray. Yeah. Just the fact BK's car does not have fog lights. So the timestamp that you use to get an arrest warrant, it's a lie. So the whole arrest, he shouldn't even be arrested. Right. It's a complete farce. So,
I just like to get, Hitler just decided he was going to try the whole case for them instead of, so I don't know how.
And that should have been. Sorry, I was going to say the fog light issue should have been a Franks hearing, exculpatory information.
Absolutely.
That was brought up. But again, Hitler wasn't going to allow a Franks hearing. The Franks hearing was only going to be to discuss some IgG information, and that's it. That should have been. And I think Ann Taylor was planning on talking about the vehicle's identification in the Franks hearing, but he didn't allow it. So.
And either one.
There we go.
Yeah. Claire, either one of you guys, or both of you.
The Claires.
How do you guys? The Claires, yes. Claire.
The Claires.
Yes. How do you guys feel about because we've spoken on here many times, so I like to hear what you guys have to say about it. What do you guys feel about how they very cleverly worded in the PCA from the FBI specialist that someone who would, possibly likely commit these murders would turn their cell phone off. And they basically threw that, worded it in such a way, and the mainstream media went wild with it, telling everyone, he turned his phone off. He turned his phone off. That means he's guilty. Like, how do you guys feel about it?
I think there's so many reasons on why you might turn your phone off other than committing a crime like that. Maybe it's like you're trying to restart your phone, and the last thing you want to do is actually restart your phone, maybe turn it off, turn it back on, or put on airplane mode for whatever reason.
Well, you hit a point. You hit an exact point there, but I don't know how much you guys know about the evidence or not. What I'll tell you is I'll let Lee answer. But
yeah, I was all over.
If you're not aware, Lee and JJ, as they were saying, they did boots on the ground, and they kind of tried to take the route that possibly Koberger may have driven that night into Wawa Park, or however you say it. But I'll let Lee explain it.
Yeah. And let me clarify something else, and I know this is where you're going one, but I want to clarify something else for those who don't know. Now, you guys may know this, but I want to make sure you understand. There was some fuckery done with the language. What they said was Brian Koberger's cell phone stopped responding to the cell tower at a certain amount of time. They didn't say he turned the phone off. Then an officer, I think it was Payne, wrote, "In my years of service, I have found that criminals often turn their phone off before going to the crime." He didn't say Koberger turned the phone off. He just did some fuckery with it lost cell service, and that's consistent. And criminals often turn their phone off. He didn't say he turned the phone off. Now, yes, they had somebody from Celebrate coming forward saying, "We're going to say that he did turn his phone off," but that's the thing. the actual facts are they didn't prove that he turned his phone off. But yet people keep, and I'm not upset with it, but people keep repeating, well, why did Brian Koberger turn his phone off? They didn't say he turned his phone off. They said it lost cell service, and and that sometimes burglars or people who are going to commit a crime turn their phones off. That's consistent with that kind of behavior. But it was a mental jump they knew you were going to make, the public, to say, oh, he turned his phone off. That's not what they said. So it's just, you have to be, the devil's in the details, as I always say.
And then along with that, to match it, as I was saying a minute ago, Lee and JJ did Boots on the Ground, and we actually had, we were doing Crimes After Dark, and they tried to call in to the show or come on the show while they were there.
Yeah.
And guess what?
We can't from
lost service. They lost service. They couldn't do it. Does that mean they turned their phone off?
And it literally, you literally lose service when so we were coming the back way, but so follow the logic. We were coming in to Pullman through Wawa Park, but I was watching very carefully because I said to JJ, I said, look, according to Koberger, he was heading to Wawa Park, and look, we don't have cell service. Let's watch and see when we get cell service. We were practically on top of Pullman before we got cell service back. Like, as soon as you turn away from Pullman and head that way, you lose cell service. Like, it's very, very quick. We didn't get it back until we were practically on top of campus, like turning right. onto campus, and then boom, now the cell service. So yeah, it's a dead spot, just like it was said. Now, I realize people laughed at the alibi. Oh, that's a ridiculous alibi. But I'm just letting you know, that's exactly what happens when you leave Pullman heading towards Wawa Park.
And
we went there, right?
That'd be my alibi, because every single night before I watch you guys, I'm out with the dogs.
Yeah.
And my service goes, I lose signal, I'm off the grid.
Yeah.
It's just what I do. It's what time I enjoy walking the dogs. It's quiet. It's nice.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just they use this to convict him in the mainstream media and throw it down everyone's throat,
And it's a coincidence I didn't get his time in advance records, which would actually show if he turned it off or if it would have lost cell service.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they claim.
Well, they're not going to tell us, because then they'll know exactly where he was, but he was in the park. Stargazing.
Here's a good question, by the way. I want to we don't talk about this. And I think what this user is talking about, they said, does anybody know when they opened the locked storage room and if it's on video? I think what they're talking about is in the 1122 King Road residence house, there was a room that was locked. I think it was supposed to have the furnace or whatever the controls.
Yeah, it's got the boiler in it.
Right.
It was ridiculous.
And as one said, in a scene like that, you don't need a fucking warrant to break that door open. And you should break the door open, because you might have a killer that's secreted in a room or a closet in the house. They have no idea that the killer's not there. You're going to open that door to clear the crime scene.
Instead to come out and go, has anybody got a key for this lock?
Yeah.
Right. An attempt was made.
Right. I mean, when you have a homicide like that, it's normal practice. Like, yes, you're going to get a search warrant for the whole house, like to that extent, to search everything. That's normal. But when you can't get past a locked door and you have a scene like that, you are not going to just leave. You're going to go to you're going to break that door down. One way or another, that lock is breaking.
Yeah, and maybe like one of the Claires said that maybe you might have the courtesy of calling the landlord and saying, hey, can we get a key for this door to open it and sit on it until they do? But you wouldn't even have to do that. Like, in the moment, you can bust that door down.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
But is it common to have locked boiler room doors? Why was there a lock on that door? Because what if there's an emergency and you've got to get into that real quick?
That is true.
When I was in student accommodation, all the boiler room was where the combi boiler was. It was locked. Yeah, just because we weren't messing about with it or trying to faff about with it and stuff.
Yeah,
and I would imagine.
Do you know what students are like? We try and fix everything ourselves.
Well, and I would imagine the landlord might want to discourage the students from doing something ridiculous and pumping the heat up so hard, and then the electric bills go out the window and shit like that. So maybe or it was a coded door that had a key code, and just nobody had the key code. So I don't know. Maybe they could have opened the door. I don't know. But I think they did have it locked, and I don't think it's totally abnormal for the landlord to have kept and probably just said, if you guys need the temperature adjusted, call me and I'll come over and fix it for you, kind of thing. I wouldn't
think it was a
view
code
that as highly,
because
I think it was a door code too.
The body cam, I think it was a code, and Dylan said no, but none of us know it.
Right. I think it was a door code. Right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Does anybody remember the picture of inside? It looked like the what do you call it? Wall covering, like the plywood had been pulled off. Or did I dream that? I might have dreamt it. I've dreamt about this so much.
Man, you really made this shit up. You just pulled that out of your ass right here on camera.
No, honestly, I can see it in my mind's eye that I saw it on my telly. This picture of inside that room with the plywood pulled off the wall. Maybe. Or maybe I did dream it.
I was going to say something too about the whole look. How ridiculous! Let me ask you this. So you've got a knife sheath and a missing knife, but you got the knife sheath. You got a room of the house that has a door locked. Wouldn't you want to see if maybe somebody threw the knife sheath in the door and locked the door? Like, I mean, wouldn't you at least out of curiosity want to know, one, if somebody who's the killer could be in the house still and behind that door, or if there's evidence such as the missing knife sheath you're looking for?
Your priority is always life-saving. Is life-saving first. That's priority. So you don't know who else. There could be another body behind that door. It could be any it's like that. Along with is there possible perpetrator, but absolutely, and that's why, to me, right away, what we've talked about it 1,000 million times, the 911 call and the officers responding to the scene. That whole freaking thing is like part of it. I do feel some of the officers that kind of were there, maybe they hadn't seen the whole thing. Some of it felt authentic to me. Some of their reactions, their breathing, their comments that were redacted.
Yeah, we talked about that.
That sounded real. But then there's other stuff. You wouldn't allow Hunter walking around with a knife in front of you. How would you know that he's not one of the perpetrators?
I want to answer Michelle.
I've got a theory for that bit.
Yeah,
I think the cops knew that something bad had happened at that house.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they knew just how bad it was.
Yeah, I think so.
So when they actually saw just how bad it was like, oh fuck.
Right. Yeah, this is worse than I expected.
But they knew something had happened.
Right.
Well, here's one of the things that's, again, let's look at the obvious. Some things that have happened with this case. We don't have one single piece of evidence, actual evidence, that any of the victims went home. We don't have any camera footage of them arriving at home.
Right.
We don't have any. You see a car pull up. Oh, that's the ride share. Okay. They in the beginning, what were we told? That one of the family members saw two people going into the house, right? Why would somebody say that's a very specific piece of information? That's not one that you just throw out unless you're throwing it out deliberately to create a narrative. I'm just this thing alone. I'm just talking about this one thing. I'm not connecting it to anything else. We don't have any evidence. There's no proof just because people's phones were used and texts were made and DoorDash was called. We don't have any proof that they were at that house at whatever the given time frames that we're looking at. We don't. It's a simple fact.
All you have is Dylan's word that everybody was back at the house by 2 a.m. That's basically it.
Right.
I do want to answer before
JJ, you're right. Just to hop on real quick. Even if we got some of the phone data, it still isn't absolute proof, because how many cases have we seen where people try to manipulate,
right,
texting, or so even if if we got like the health data from the phone, we still don't know that it's 100% accurate.
Right, because they may not have had those items with them.
Right. And it could have been manipulated to make it look like they were alive. People could have sent text messages or done things on the phone to make it look like they were still alive to throw off the timeline. Real quick, because it's been pinned for a long time and I don't want to just have it go away because we just, so Michelle Rowe, 420, hope you're not high. I'm going to give you a good answer right now. So the answer, can it go back to trial? Yes, it can. Realistically, it's not likely to, but yes, it can go back to trial. It can go back to trial if, for example, exculpatory information comes forward that proves that Bryan Kohberger could not have been there when they said he was, then that'll be a retrial kind of situation. Bryan Kohberger has post-conviction relief options available to him that he may file, and and the rumor is that he's going to file them, and the post-conviction reliefs could potentially lead to that path as well. So there are limited ways in which, yes, it could negate the conviction. So look, here's the path. I'll try to explain it to you. The conviction could be negated or overturned. And then what would happen if that does happen, which again, it's a long shot, but if it did, then the prosecution would have the opportunity to retry him if they want to. So like if they said that something was done wrong and it was an error, then they can overturn the conviction or vacate the conviction. And then they'll say, before we let him out of jail, you, prosecution, have X number of days to decide if you're going to retry him based on the new information. And then they'll decide. And that's happened before. If you watch the Adnan Syed case before, it was that kind of situation where they had a certain deadline they had to meet to say, are you going to retry him or not? Otherwise, we got to let him out. So that kind of thing could happen. But it's kind of a slim long shot. And our country is designed to uphold the court's decision, and it's rare for the appellate courts to want to overturn something. So it's a long process. You have to have very, very specific reasons to appeal. Then you have to convince the appellate judge that they want to go against what the other judge said, which is rare. So it's an uphill battle, but yes, it could go back to trial, potentially. Sorry to derail that. I just didn't want that comment to completely go away because it was a great question. McCready Jamie, I mean, they tore down the house. No trial. Can't place BK at the house. Yet the mainstream media thinks this is totally normal. Red flags from day one. Yeah, we've all been saying that. And somehow we're getting shamed by certain people, certain families. We get shamed for saying that's bullshit. You don't tear the house down. In fact, wait a minute. Was one of the families, you know who I'm talking about when I say families are shaming us, wasn't that one of the families who didn't want the house torn down, or did they want the house torn down? I think they didn't want the house torn down.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, they
didn't want the house. Yeah.
No.
Anyway.
Well, the old concept of flooding the zone. The reason why I've said over and over that some of the people in the periphery of this case are very suspicious is because they've changed their tune countless times. Early on, there was particular family saying how their rights are being violated to speak, right? Remember that? First Amendment right being violated, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the public's free access to information is part of the First Amendment too. So when I see that kind of stuff, to me, I think flooding the zone, it doesn't matter. Just throw a bunch of shit against the wall, see what sticks, keep people distracted, divert away from obvious things. It's the oldest trick in the book. Look over there. Don't look over here.
Yeah.
Right.
And the reason why I keep, and someone just posted, Olivia had said she was on the phone when they were walking the dog. That's what they said. That's not proof.
Right.
And even if they have a call on their phone, that's not proof either. In this, you would think one of the first things they did was to get as much data about where these people were at a given time and exactly when they got home, and proof, not two suspicious surviving roommates whose stories don't add up to shit. We can't believe anything they've said because so many different things turned out to be false. So the most basic thing, where were the victims last? Who were they last with? Find there's probably cameras all around that neighborhood. Is there one where they show the car go by and you could see them in the car?
Yeah.
Is there any camera footage of them,
Yeah, and any footage they have of the
JJ,
car, you can't tell who's driving. You can't tell how many people are in the car.
Right.
You can't tell anything.
And like one of the big things, like goes along exactly with what you're saying there. What do we see at the corner club, and what do we see at the food truck? Kaylee's on her phone nonstop. Almost the whole time. Show us her call log. Who is she on the phone with?
Yeah,
who is she?
Right. Yeah, it's not that hard. It shouldn't be.
Well, because that isn't an argument. Like we see, like she's alive. Kaylee's alive. There's a timestamp, so we know she's alive, and she's talking to someone or texting someone at that moment.
Well, we could probably speculate. I know one could speculate who she was on the phone with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Let me answer Turkey Creek Gal's comment just in brief, because I could rant for fucking forever about it, but I won't. Right? You're right. Brian Kohberger never had to prove that he wasn't there. It's the state's job to prove that he was beyond a reasonable doubt. It was never he doesn't have to fucking prove dick about him not being there. He has the presumption of innocence. The problem is he pled guilty, so there was no trial. Had it gone to trial, no, Brian Kohberger does not have to prove that he wasn't there. They have to prove that he was. And what did Bill Thompson say? I can't place Brian Kohberger in the house. I can't even, all I can do is place him near the house. And by near, he means pinging up the cell tower that services the house near one. Come on.
Yeah, what he could prove is that BK went stargazing, and
right. He could prove he maybe went to an ATM in Moscow or anywhere in that town would have hit the cell tower that services the house. Oh my God.
Did you notice as well? I don't know if this is just another coincidence among the many, but the DNA from the knife sheath, it got tested and then it was exhausted, so it could never be retested ever.
Yes.
Right.
But why? Yes. How does that happen when somebody's knickers from 30 years ago just solved a cold case in the UK?
Because they're
DNA.
They're fucking the world in this case. Let me say, I want to go back one more second to the whole. I got to go back one more second to the pinging off the cell tower that services the house at 112. Twiz, remember, Twiz came on the show and he's really into the cell tower stuff. He pointed out you can ping off that cell tower from Lewiston, Idaho, for fuck's sake. You can ping off the cell tower that services the house at 112 from like Lewiston, Idaho. So this idea that
it's that massive one, isn't it? That huge one.
That he was in Moscow. It doesn't even mean he was in Moscow. Just because he pinged off that tower doesn't even mean he was in the city. He might not even have been in the city.
And the reason he said that you don't ping, cell towers don't operate in a radius typically.
Right.
They can operate by section, not just by radius.
Right.
So that's how all the way down to Lewiston was where he
within
was pinging
section
on that one particular tower. So it's,
I hope I got that right. I mean, is that how he worded it? I think he worded it that way.
Yeah, from what I remember.
Yeah. Because he was the one that was saying about how it works as far as radius versus like a section. Cell towers don't always work, in a circular radius.
Right. And to go back to UK, Claire, God, I'm fucking pissed off. They never intended to use the DNA in trial. They already said that. So all the discussions about, how you they never intended to use the DNA. They already said we've got enough circumstantial evidence. So when Ann Taylor started to fight them on the DNA and said, wait a minute, we don't know how you developed this Kohberger. It's a moot point. We do not intend to show the DNA at trial. And everybody in America is still, in the world, is convicting Kohberger on DNA that they never intended to show at trial. They weren't going to show the DNA. They were going to use circumstantial evidence that maybe he hit the cell tower near the house, and maybe it's suspect vehicle 1 circling around, and maybe that means he had to have gone into the house. That's what they were going to use. There wasn't going to be DNA.
Well, can I just say to the point that regarding the cell tower evidence and digital evidence, what would all of that discussion accomplish? Because it didn't accomplish anything, right? That's stuff that we know that they couldn't put him at the house, right? So what is something, and there are other things too that I'll caveat as well, that would facilitate the need for, we need more accurate tracking capability. We need more DNA surveillance capability. We need more predictive policing capability, right?
Yep.
That's why I've said for a long time, once I started connecting the dots, and I am 100% convinced there was a major operation involved in that area before and after. And one of the things is, in my opinion, now more than ever, that house was part of something bigger. And everybody that was in that house was part of something else that was going on. And whether or not it doesn't even matter what you believe actually happened in that house that night, because it's what is going to come of it and has already started to come of it. We've already gotten now citizens' inability to get crime scene photos. What does that allow? That allows them to lie to you and just tell you this is what happened.
Yep.
We don't have to show you to prove it that this is what happened.
Yep.
Okay, that's one thing. We've already heard talk in the media on several different cases about we need more surveillance, we need more cameras, we need Othram Labs, right? Othram Labs was able to come in, swoop in, and be the superheroes because there was a micro dot speck of DNA on the knife sheath snap, right? If there was, I've said it before, if there was tons of DNA and a murder weapon on the scene, then Othram doesn't come in and look like superstars, right? So, and then DA and I watching the Othram presentation, which seemed very suspicious to me, both of us, right out of the gate. So, in my opinion, I'm not even going to talk about what happened in the house, what did or didn't happen, because if there was an operation in that area, everywhere else, they've gotten many billions of dollars invested in this technology right now. The government is all in on it. So there was probably stuff going on in that area already to forward these agendas, right? So to me, it's what gives a good indication of what the bigger picture is what happens afterwards. Why all this bullshit that we've been fed that's clearly inaccurate and some of it red herrings, right? In my opinion, they don't do it right away. If you look at history, when a shit goes down, you don't see the agenda immediately. You'll see hints of it. The power structure plans long term, right? So they've already moving the pieces around behind the scenes. So in my opinion, there's so many suspicious things that couldn't be happening by chance together. There's no way. It's probably statistically almost impossible that so many different things could be inconsistent in one case, unless it's because we're not being told the truth about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Something that's really interesting to me is I remember hearing something from the Gonzalez's saying how like Kaylee had like a bad feeling or a premonition about going back down to Idaho when she was staying with her family. And I am like curious about like maybe that like bad feeling about something was going on. That's why she was on her phone at like the grub truck, and what could have been different if she stayed home like in the Coeur d'Alene area rather than going back down to Moscow.
Yeah. Well, we kind of touched on this the other night. Although we don't know the truth, it's a rumor. But I believe Kaylee came back. It wasn't just to show her car, a new car to Maddie. I think that she was given some info or from whoever it was that she knew that there was a bunch of rumors and nonsense that was going around. And I think she wanted to clear the air. I think that was a big reason. And she wanted to do that before she went to Texas, before she moved away. I think that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Or if you remember, Christy actually said that it was Dylan who begged her to come to be a plus one at informal. Begged her,
Right.
wouldn't stop asking her.
Right. Does that not seem suspicious to everybody? It should.
Right.
It should.
Yeah.
And it's just another one of those inconsistencies we're constantly
So sad. For the guys, it's sad. They're not going to rest easy, are they? Wherever they've gone on to next, until we know the truth.
Right.
And you're absolutely right that it's suspicious because Dylan only lived there. She didn't. This isn't someone that was like lifelong friends with Kaylee. So you're telling me that she drove an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes? Like, there's something. Something smells fishy.
Yeah, they weren't. If they were that good of friends, she would have been out with them that night.
You're right.
She would have been hanging out with them, but she wasn't. She was hanging out with whatever the bird's name was, watching Vampire Diaries, supposedly.
You know, if you just on a more specific thing, right? The rumors about who Kaylee was seeing and all that kind of stuff. Is it possible? I mean, I don't even know if I want to talk about this, but corruption is real. We all know it. It's no one can deny it. Nobody can deny there was fuckery going on in that area.
Right.
We've all seen it many, many times, right? This is not a big stretch. If, as I've said before, there were people in that house that maybe knew things that they weren't supposed to know, that were damning for certain other people connected to that area, the college, whatever you want to say, maybe even bigger than that, right? Because we know if there were trafficking type of operations in that area, someone could have had information that was very damning to people that may have either been involved with that stuff or knew about it and were overlooking it deliberately. So while I understand that's dark shit, but could people have been set up to you guys' point? This is why I'm bringing this up. And that would, this is just theorizing, the two people whose story was absolute horseshit, right? One of them allegedly went and implored the victim, to come back to the house. Could they have been sent to go bring them back by somebody? And, then because they're part of that, that's why their horseshit story wasn't pushed or questioned or even expanded on later as to why it was such horseshit.
Yeah, it's a good point. And I think, a good thread also there, is that it's apparently that Kaylee was involved, she was into true crime, apparently. And I know that she
really was, according to all of her
right. She was also, as far as I have heard, she was trying to help investigate some of the suspicious murder, deaths that had happened with some other students in the past too. Did Kaylee, maybe it wasn't that Kaylee or whoever was a CI, maybe just being involved interested in true crime. Maybe Kaylee stumbled upon something, as you just said, Jay, that she wasn't supposed, something she wouldn't let go, and she kept pushing, and maybe she found something that people don't want getting out.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't watched those two interviews yet, the latest two from yesterday, Connor put up, they are so interesting, because the second one, the latest one, goes on about there's a generations long feud between Sigma Chi and Delta or Beta. He says it anyway.
Who posted the videos? Was it Connor?
It's they're both on Connor's channel, but they are definitely worth listening to multiple times. I think I've listened 5 times to each. But one of them actually says, "Of course, I've been to the house. I've stumbled in there a few times, definitely, because the door's always open."
Right.
So it's that type of house, which is just open to many, it seems.
Well,
which would make the girls very vulnerable to all sorts of stuff.
Kristen from the Custody Queens, when I spoke to them, she kind of like opened my eyes, because I knew there was suspicious shit going on, you know, but I just didn't frame it that the house itself had something to do with it. Because she brought up the idea that it seemed very inorganic. Yes, you had Kaylee and Maddie who grew up together and whatever, but like the other people who were in the house, and Dylan, who was living there, and supposedly the sorority girls, you're not allowed to live off campus until like your junior year or whatever. And there were just other things that Kristen brought to my attention that I just never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Like, why would you tear down that house? Another reason why you might would be because it was the house. There could have been surveillance equipment all in that house.
Yeah.
Right. It could have been a trap house, right? Meaning, you know, where they would use it to gather information about the comings and goings of other people involved in certain things. And so what are you going to do? You got to get rid of that, any potential chance that someone's going to stumble upon some evidence that would point to that.
Mm-hmm.
So is that also why the shelter in place was taken off so fast? Because you've got a massacre like a 90s slasher movie, and they've not caught anybody, but the shelter in place was just taken away because, everybody's safe, because they knew it was something to do with the house. And they probably knew who it was. And you just don't know.
And that's my theory.
I
think they knew a lot about what happened, and that's the rub, is that because they knew about things. I think there's that's why I keep saying, you don't ask questions you already know the answers to, or you don't want the answers to. So there's reasons why they didn't ask certain questions, because they already knew certain things.
Maybe Brian was too close because he wanted to work for that police department, and Brian was into understanding everything, and he didn't like things going wrong. He was reading books about people pleading guilty that were innocent, and he was a nobody, really. He had no real friends. He had no online presence. He would have just disappeared if it wasn't for Pouch Potato Detective.
You know, one thing too, you know, regarding all the predictive policing, domestic surveillance, the geofencing, all that type of stuff, when you hear little rumblings, if you follow the content that I follow, this company is testing this or testing that. Where do you think they test it? They're testing it in the real world,
in universities. And,
that's where they test things. Do you think that the U.S. intelligence agencies and DARPA test things in a little room in some laboratory? No, they need real world conditions to test things. So,
and to that point, you know, college age people and even high school are perfect examples, because in a lot of ways they are so trusting. So when certain things are brought about, they're always up for trying new technology. They want the latest things. So they're a perfect age group to try that kind of stuff out on.
And
that's a great point.
Universities have trackers, like the students are tracked by the university. Don't some of you? Yours do that? That's mad. That is mad.
And it's like, I just look at it like the bigger picture. It's like, if that house was being used as a quote unquote test, and it wasn't supposed to be known to the public, and maybe a certain person who, you know, knew some things, and maybe they were concerned that they were going to reveal some things. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but I'm starting to feel really strongly that it was the house itself was really, really significant in this whole thing. And we'll find out. It's all coming to pass because the government is pushing this surveillance stuff like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
And they have to test it in the real world. And I'm sure it was going on already.
Yeah.
I get fired up when I talk about this stuff.
Any theories we've got are actually more believable than what they actually try and make us believe. Yeah. Any theories, even the wacky theories we've got. We could bring vampires and werewolves into it because the Greek mythology is connected to them, and that'd be more believable than Brian Koberger.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, vampires aren't all bad.
Yep.
We have a declaration of werewolves around the corner that meet every Saturday. We do.
You guys.
I don't go, but I know of them because I bumped into them.
Side tangent for Friday night. I went to church schools all the way up until the 9th grade. I got kicked out of church school for American Werewolf in London. So now that we're talking about UK and werewolves, kicked out of school for talking about American Werewolf in London. Shower scene. Anyways, I talked about it at school. It was a big problem.
Oh, that's in my top 5 movies. That is absolutely amazing. I love it.
Right? I love that movie. Jack.
TA, if you saw what was going on in the chat, you wouldn't be concerned about going off the rails.
So are they off the rails?
That's the thing with being on here. I don't get to read the chat.
I know,
mean,
like
people are speaking my language in this chat. I mean, I've been watching. I have it on my phone, so I have to look over at it and stuff. But I see what people are talking about, and they're talking about the kind of stuff that I talk about when I'm not here. So you guys are my kind of people. I'll say that.
Very, very cool. Well, I think it's getting close to wrap up time. I did want to thank the guests for coming on. I want to say, by the way, while we were talking, Whitman County Sheriff's Office delivered their second package of COPACA files to me that I paid for. So I just got that in the mail today. I'll be taking a look at that tonight. So I'm going to see hopefully they have something cool in there that we haven't talked about before. So that's cool. Thanks for our guests being on the stage with us. I want to, again, I told you I might give away something here. So I will do, here's what I'm going to probably do. Like I'm going to have one do his movie trivia, and the first person that gets it right, you have an option to get a jersey, the hoodie like this if you want it. If you don't want it, that's fine. Don't give me your address to ship it. But let me make a caveat. The last time I tried to ship one of these suckers to the UK, fucking cost a forttion to ship to the UK. Yeah. Holy shit, it cost like $40 something to ship it. I was like, I was offered like, I'll ship this to you for free. And I'm like, oh, I just ate that in the ass. Like that was horrible. So yeah, it's really expensive.
That's why I can never buy any merch, because it's just too bloody expensive.
It's ridiculous shipping costs. It's holy crap.
It just means that one of you are going to have to come over here and bring me a hoodie. It's okay.
Right. We'll just, that'll be cheaper. I'll catch a flight. We'll come on over there and just hand deliver it, because it might be cheaper.
No, Claire, you got to go to Crime Con.
There you go.
Just a little bit of a tip for like overseas shipping.
Yeah. A tip.
Just for a little tip for overseas shipping. So I recommend pirate shipping. So all you have to do is it decreases the shipping price a whole bunch. And I've used it when I was overseas for a little bit for my I was working full time out in Vegas, so I had to spend some time overseas and shipped some things back home, and I saved, I want to say, close to $200 on shipping. So I recommend Pirate Ship.
We do use Pirate Ship. I think Pirate Ship now owes us a sponsorship, so they're going to have to pick up the show and give us a sponsorship. And we just plugged their their stuff. But we use Pirate Ship, and it was still expensive. But yes, you do save a little bit. Oh, looks McCready Jamie's going to be at CrimeCon. Fantastic. I hope you'll tap me on the shoulder when you see us walking around. My wife and I will probably be wearing our merch. I know that we're not always going to have the merch on because Rhonda wants to dress up for some of the events. And so you can't put on a hoodie and dress up kind of thing. But, I'm going to be wearing that hoodie as much as possible. Tap me on the shoulder if you see me there and say hi. Let me know that you're there. Anybody that comes there, please let me know. And don't stab me. Don't shank me. I don't want to be shanked at CrimeCon.
And look, if people, this is just a thought about CrimeCon. I'm not even sure that I'm going yet.
Yeah.
So if there can be a scenario where people can pool resources, or like DA, we talked about potentially an Airbnb, which would make it a lot better for me. If I'm going to drive there, then if I have a place to park, I can bring more stuff. I can kind of be a little more, I'll bring my guitar, we could have a little sing along. We can all go like this and
some kumbaya.
I tell you that I would love it if we
do it live.
We could sing pretty much together.
Pretty much. I would
fire.
love it if we could share an Airbnb with people, because we would save a fuck ton of money. Like we've got a lot, because we decided to stay at the Caesars, and that's expensive. I mean, even with the group discount for the rooms, it was horrendous. So moving to an Airbnb would be great. Sharing an Airbnb with somebody would be even greater. So yeah, that's.
I mean, if we could get to look. I get it. I'm not wealthy. I'm a working stiff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have to kind of mind my P's and Q's. But if we could rally some things, get some of the people who are good at organizing to put their heads together to find ways to make it more palatable for people.
Yeah.
We could do some really fun stuff. I mean, we could do some group lives. We could just get some fun footage.
Right. We can all go to the Green Door together as a group. The Red.
Well, we could have some fun. We could, we could drink, whatever that means, and however we
did go to the mob. People talk about, if we go to Vegas, can we go to the mob museum? The mob museum is pretty cool to check out and spend a day there. It's a big museum, but.
If you guys stay in a hotel in Vegas, I recommend the Red Rocks Hotel. It's in a really nice area. And sorry if you hear noise, it's my cat. She has the zoomies. But also, if you're like on the strip and it's close to midnight and you're drunk, the best place for you to go to is Roberto's. It's like a Mexican restaurant chain in the area. It's open 24/7. So even if it's like 10 p.m. or 2 a.m. you can, if you have like the drunk munchies, it's like the best place for the drunk munchies.
My secret sin for Vegas is Fremont Street. I love people watching on Fremont Street.
Fremont Street is 10 times better in my opinion than
Fremont Street is better than the Strip.
It's also you're less likely to step on some used needles and all that, but
yeah.
Well, I mean,
look,
there's a lot of options for sure. I don't know Vegas very well, and I just know for me to go and get a room and then have to worry about parking and what can I bring and do I want to bring, whatever. It's just I don't have.
You been to Fremont Street?
The parking is absolutely insane on the Strip, so I kind of don't blame people for wanting to stay on the Strip and just walk.
We're gonna take our car and park at the hotel and just kind of leave it there, or Airbnb.
And even they got like a monorail thing that
they do.
It's so long.
But have you been to Fremont Street, JJ?
I don't. It's been a long time since I've been to Vegas.
Dude, I'm going to twist your arm off if you haven't been to Fremont. You need to come there and let me introduce you to Fremont Street.
Look, if I'm in Vegas, I'm going to roll with whatever we're doing. I have a guy I worked with for years who moved to Vegas. He's a professional gambler and apparently doing pretty well in Vegas.
Nice.
But like I wouldn't have plans other than, what we're going to rally and what if we're going to put together our own little stuff on the side. But if an Airbnb scenario happens, it's going to increase the odds of me going tenfold.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll see if I can work it out, or if we can get some help working it out. Nobody seems to bite, and I'm not the kind of guy that likes to beg, so I don't want to beg people to go. But I'll see if I can stick some people on it. I'll have my people contact your people. We'll do lunch. We'll get an Airbnb. We'll go to fucking Fremont Street and hang out and have a good time. We'll see if we can pull that off. That'd be really cool. All right, let's do the close. Let's go around and I think we're going to give one the close because when he does the movie trivia, I'll give away a merch or at least give you the option. And again, if nobody wants it, that's fine. If you do want it, I'm going to need to have an address to ship it to. If you don't feel comfortable with that, that's fine as well. It's just a freebie offer. It's there and we're going to rather than answer it as a panel, let's let the chat answer the movie trivia. So let's go around the horn. I'm going to say goodnight to the guests because we're not going to do close necessarily with the guests. So Claire's and US Claire and UK Claire, thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure to have both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Have a great night, guys.
Right. Good night.
Bye.
Thanks, Claire's.
All right, so let's go. I had so many
great.
names. I'm like, how the hell am I going to do? Oh yeah, 2 of these people we're not doing close with. So all right, so we're gonna go. JJ. We're gonna go Robin, and then we'll go 1-1, and we'll give away a gift if somebody wants it if they win the movie trivia contest. So JJ, what do you got for closing?
All right. Thank you, advocates. Thank you to the Claires for coming up and rapping with us. Thank you to the denizens and any stray meatballs or believers in the chat. And of course, to the great mods. Public service announcement. Everybody, donate your DNA to Othram Labs. Sign up for digital ID and central bank digital currency. If you want to be a good citizen so you can be tracked within an inch of your life, you got to support the cause. But anyway, with that being said, thanks everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you so much. I got more exciting news, but I got more exciting news. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right, let's go. Robin, what do you got for close?
Well, it was a great night as always, and thanks to Claire Squared for joining us on stage tonight. That was awesome having you ladies with us, and hopefully we'll come back up again, sometime. So, and that's a invite. Anytime you guys see the link out there, anyone in chat is welcome to come on up with us. We'd love to have you. So that was really cool that you guys hung out with us. It was, enjoy hearing your thoughts and opinions on everything. So and whether you are here live or you're on the replay crew, you are just as important to us. And with DA's video earlier today, I loved seeing all of the engagement on that video and all of our videos. So please keep that up. We love hearing your thoughts and opinions. So it was awesome. And thanks to the mods tonight, to Amanda and Essie for holding down the chat and everything and keeping everybody engaged. Always wonderful what you guys do, and to all the team members. We have a big team who helps us out, and we appreciate all of you. So and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Before 1-1 goes, I want to give this a special announcement. Spotify just announced that we have our playlist up on Spotify. I'm going to try Spotify.
Spotify.
So here we are on Spotify. I'll put a link. Now, here's the problem. So I submitted an album with 12 songs in it. 12 songs. 2 songs came up as saying, hey, they had problems. It looks like you uploaded videos and not songs. So I uploaded the 2 songs. The 2 songs are now there in a playlist, and I don't know where the hell the other 10 songs are. I will get it fixed. But if you want to get a special thing, go out there and get the link to our Spotify channel, Devil's Advocates Group, the music from our shows. It is now available on Spotify, and I will get the rest of those 10 songs that we have in the can, plus more, loaded into the playlist. So that was cool to be able to show that's now live. So I'm excited about that. All right, 1-1. We need to get you on stage here and do our movie trivia and close.
Did you ever say I'll be right back?
Oh boy. No, that's not the trivia.
Okay. I was gonna say I'll be back.
Yeah. Awesome discussion. Thank you, Claire's. It was great having you on, running some theories and feedback off of you guys. I encourage other people to come up. See, we don't bite people's heads off. So it's good banter, it's good for the soul.
Yepper.
Make sure you see Lee's video from earlier. I know that there's a lot of content creators out there, putting out a million things, but some of these, very, very particular, specific things, Lee is very good about making you think, whether, we might not know exactly, yes, this is 100% true that what happened or not, but it makes you question, and it makes you really think some of these videos that he makes. So make sure you dive into that content. Thanks to the mods, always, Amanda. So I will do the movie trivia, but are we allowing Amanda to be part of?
No, we need to make this available for chat only, and Amanda has to not play because she's part of the team. So.
Okay.
Nobody in the team gets to play.
All right.
Oh, we don't get to play? That's
no, because
no, we're giving away merch.
We're gonna give
away merch. Yeah,
we're giving away merch, or at least we're gonna try to give away.
That's right.
Okay, ready, guys? I'll give you a hint. Okay, so this is from the early 2000s. This guy don't want to win no battle. He's shook, because ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
That's it for the quote?
No, there's more. Well, that's the first part.
Okay, all right.
Don't ever try to judge me, dude. You don't know what the fuck I've been through. But I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook. That's a private school.
Oh.
What's the matter, dog? You're embarrassed? This guy's a gangster. His real name is Clarence. Now, Clarence lives at home with both parents, and Clarence's parents have a real good marriage.
The movie. I know the movie. Nope.
No takers yet?
8 Mile's not correct, I don't believe. Dudes Wear My Car, not correct.
No, that is. They got it.
It was?
It's 8
Which
Mile.
one? Oh,
8
I thought I knew for sure where that was from, and it wasn't the movie. It was 8 Mile. You had it in the first. Was that the first person who had 8 Mile? God damn it. I thought for sure where that was.
I don't know. Who was the first person? It was
Jess M80.
Yeah,
it was
Jess M80.
All right. So
Jess. Yeah.
So Jess, do you want a hoodie with our merch on it? And if you do, we'll need to get a hold of you somehow so we can get that. You can email me at contact@devilsadvocates.info and let me know you won the jersey and give me your some mailing stuff. If small's not your size, still reach out to me. I may have a different size for you. So I for sure have a small, but if you don't want the small, let me know what size you'd like, and I'll see if I've got that in my stock for you. And thank you so much for playing the game. I appreciate that much.
Yeah, good job.
And thank you, 1-1, for doing the trivia.
Well done.
Well done. And as for me, I will say good night. Thank you all, everybody, for participating in the show. It was great having guests on the show. I thought at first it was, with half the panel missing, that we were going to be like struggling with things. It was not a struggle as usual. So it was super, super cool. If you haven't watched the video again that we dropped today, please go give it a like. There's still time to make that video a big video by going and watching it. I think if you haven't seen it or heard me talk about it for a while, it'll be worth your while. I really do think it's got a lot of good information in there. And it talks about our public records request that we filed. At the end of that video are the 2 letters that I wrote with the specific things that we're asking for MPD. And public records requests work. We keep getting stuff back on Kopaka. For example, I've got lots of stuff on Kopaka. I just got another package while we were literally doing our show. I got another package because it seems like even though your regular business hours are done, they start mailing me stuff late at night because they kind of do those records request stuff late at night, and I get my packages late at night. So thank you for being part of the show. It was great having you. Have a great night, everybody. Take it easy.
Good night, everybody.